Thank you, Peter. Also, a warm welcome to our four esteemed speakers, as well as Martin, of course, and the entire huge audience we appear to have to these CWI lectures from my side. So yes, the occasion for being together here today is Martin Kersten. Being together, unfortunately, only online and virtual, not live and in person. Despite that, I hope your drinks are in the fridge. You have to pay them yourself, but make sure you have something ready for sharing with us and sharing with us to Martin towards the end. Before they get there, when trying to get this introduction, we realized we could talk for hours probably about Martin, given his career so far and his achievements and contributions to the database community. Let's look at some of them, but take some of the things with a grain of salt. So his employment record, luckily, can be fit on one slide. He spent most of his time, his professional life at CWI. After getting his PhD from the Free University in Amsterdam, he joined CWI in 1985 and started building a database group. A database group that survived many, many reorganizations in the Institute over the 35 years since then. Only the name changed. I actually don't know what the actual name was in the beginning. It was Information Systems 1 at some point, part of algorithms and architectures, and nowadays it's called database architectures. While being at CWI, he also kept his part-time affiliation with the university, first the Free University in Amsterdam, then the University of Amsterdam, becoming a full professor in multimedia databases of all things. But it's definitely something about databases. You see him on this slide in two pictures. The one in the top right is
two versions
maybe 2 or 3 years old.
One with mustache and one without.
The one with mustache. Many of you might still know Martin with mustache, indeed. That picture is supposedly from 1997. I'm actually not sure whether Martin knows where and when this picture was taken, but I can tell him afterwards. And the other one is for his occasion of 25 years at CWI, which obviously was 10 years ago. Nowadays, Martin is formally still, while not employed by CWI, formally still a research fellow. Also, a retired research fellows are still research fellows at CWI, but he spends most of his time being the CEO and director of MonetDB Solutions, a small spin-off company that takes care of commercializing Martin's big baby, MonetDB. Next to his formal employment at CWI, of course, Martin assumed a couple of professional and managerial activities, being managerial activities within the Institute, not only leading the group, but leading the complete information systems department for many, many years until he handed over to the next generation 9 years ago. Next to some other scientific directorships for big national programs, mostly his activities geared towards putting the research he and his team, we, if you wish, did into practice by founding a number of spin-off companies and leading them to, well, success. Some to bigger success than others, but all of this were successful. And most of them are known, and most of them deal with databases, either developing them or using them in data mining or in search engines and the like. He also, of course, was busy contributing to the database research community by organizing conferences, starting with being the one who already in 1989 pulled VLDB to Amsterdam as a local organizer, served on the board of trustee of the VLDB endowment. Peter, do you want to say it yourself, or shall I?
Yeah, no. One of the things that may not be well known is that Martin, as a member of the board of trustees, there was a big discussion about reorganizing the way we do research and we publish science in the database community. In the end, VLDB became a hybrid conference journal, and this was based on initiatives and ideas that Martin floated in his time. And well, it was implemented in 2008. It took some years more, but it's also one of the ways that Martin influenced our community.
So last but not least, he was honorary chair of SIGMOD last year here in Amsterdam, which at least the database people of you might still recall and might have attended. Of course, all his work, Martin's work, revolved around database systems and building database systems with a few predecessors. His main part is, of course, MongoDB, that you all should know and should be aware of. And it's still around, obviously. His research has been acknowledged in multiple ways and awarded a number of awards together with his co-authors or for him as a person. So there was the SIGMOD 2009 Best Paper Runner-Up Award. I was with Martin and others in Providence, Rhode Island back then, and I recall that somewhere in the coffee hall he learned that, hey, by the way, you need to be on stage next session because you're runner-up of the Best Paper Award for a work on database recycling, which also earned them quite some visibility in the environmental business, although recycling is something slightly different here. Oops, this was supposed to be there. Then, of course, there was the 2009 VLDB 10-year Best Paper Award, which Martin, Peter, and myself received for our VLDB 1999 paper. And we had lots of fun receiving that award. We were very honored, and we had lots of fun giving a small presentation. Some of you might still recall that. I still recall the VLDB 1999 presentation, which I was allowed to give my first big conference presentation back then. And I had the feeling the night before that Martin and Peter were actually more nervous whether I would deliver than I was myself. But I think it didn't go too bad. At least, the paper made it well. In 2011, Martin and some others, you can see them on the picture, Stratos Idreas, Leo, and myself, received the VLDB Challenges and Vision Best Paper Award. To the best of my knowledge, one of the few, if not the only, scientific paper without a single reference. Instead, there is an acknowledgement covering the entire prior work in database architecture, if you wish. And then Martin received the line of ACM awards, ACM SIGMOD XRF COT Innovation Award in 2014, the SIGMOD Systems Award in 2016 for MongoDB, and became an ACM Fellow in 2016. I think this is enough to understand that Martin is deserving all these awards and had a huge contribution to the research community. Last but not least, which is the one thing that might not be so visible in these awards and to the outside, one of the things that I learned from Martin is, it's nice to be a good researcher, but you cannot do everything all by yourself. To have long-term impact in a systems-oriented research as we are doing, you need to have a team, have team players on all the positions, as Martin likes to say, a football team. And from my side, thank you very much for allowing me to be a member of this football team for already a few years now. So with this, I hand back to Peter to tell you more about what's coming up. Oh, one thing. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot. Yes, the order was supposed the other way around. Sorry for that. During his career, Martin graduated no less than 25 PhD students. And you see their faces here. Those of you who know them might know them. I didn't put any names to them. 25? But this is 6 times 4. This is not 25, right? Well, I couldn't find the photo of number 4 in the line. I don't name names. Martin should know who number 4 was. But yeah, thank you, Martin, for all of those. And Peter, now is yours.
Well, thanks, Stefan. Indeed, very well-respected career, and also well-deserved that we dedicate these CWI lectures to Martin. But now it's back to the program.